What's going on YouTube? It's your guy LA Rip, and I'm back with another video. And as you can see, we're here with a little bit of difference. Got a very old bowling ball in front of me. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. But welcome you to my new series, The Road to 300. And we're going to be talking about all things bowling and wrapped around me shooting a perfect game. I haven't done it yet, but that's what we're here to do. Very high scores, not the perfect game. I'm still trying to seek it out. So today we're going to be getting into my arsenal and a little bit of the backstory of how I got to where I am today. So let's get into the video. My father started bowling when he was in his 20s. He's been bowling my entire life that I've known him and that I've been alive. He's been bowling in leagues. So we kind of grew up around the lanes. He's always thrown with a hook. And that's something I'm going to talk about as I get further into the bowling balls. But I wanted to bring this ball up because it was the very first ball that I had of my own. It's no different than what you would find on the shelf when you go to your local bowling center. It's got a plastic cover stock. It does not have any big core in it that makes the ball hook. It is made to throw straight, and it is what we call a full finger drill, meaning that as you can see, the fingers as they go in the ball, they go all the way down to your first joint in your finger, and then of course the thumb. So the thumb, 3 fingers go in the ball all the way, and it's made to throw just straight up the lane. The reason why I wanted to bring this ball up, obviously it was the one that started me off as my very own ball. Even though it was given to me, it fit my fingers really well, and I've been using it for a very, very long time. I switched over to this ball as I upgraded. We'll talk about that in a minute with the next ball. But I started using this for my spares, and it greatly increased my scores, able to shoot with a plastic straight ball, shooting at my spares. So this still stayed in the bag for a while after it stopped being my main ball. So y'all say bye to it because it has now officially been retired from my arsenal. We'll get to its replacement a little later in the video, so stick around for that. Yeah, and so let's get into the next ball. This ball right here is the Hammer MV Tour, and this is, so in my notes guys, this has the Obsession Tour core in it, so it has the same core as the Obsession Tour from Hammer. The cover stock is called the MV Solid Reactive, so it is a reactive solid cover stock, and it is recommended for medium to heavy oil lanes. So you typically, if you're bowling league, the first few games, the oil is going to be probably heavier on the lanes, so you're going to want something that's you're going to be able to control through the heavier oil, and this is that ball. So also, and like I said, it's a high performance, so this thing's going to give you a pretty good hook. Now this has had a smooth, very smooth, like kind of like an arched type curve hook to it. It's not going to break hard off the end of the lane, so it's still very controllable. That's what I love about this ball, and that's why this ball is always going to be, for now, is going to be the #1 ball that I'm pulling out of the bag to start off a match with. Also, want you to pay attention to a couple things. As you can see, as I spin this around, remember we're talking a little bit about not only my arsenal, my current arsenal, but my history. So as you can see, the ball has a drilled thumb hole in it, but something that's different is that now this is what you call a fingertip drill bowling ball. So now as my fingertips go in, as you can see, it does not go all the way up to my knuckle, or my first joint in my fingers. That's the biggest thing. And then of course the thumb goes in, so still 3 fingers, but now only my fingertips go in. So this is the first ball that I actually really learned how to actually bowl the proper way with a hook, or getting the ball to curve into the pocket. So it was a transition for me, guys. I struggled for a little while. So any of my bowlers out there that are trying to improve on their game, that's what it's all about, practicing and improving on their game if you're really serious about the game. But I struggled really bad because remember, like the last ball you just saw, I was throwing it straight, right? I mean, it's just literally just straight up the lane, like just, no hooking, no curve. So I had to learn how to do that. So basically I had to learn how to bowl all over again. And this is the ball that I did with. So, but I struggled pretty bad. Scores dropped. I mean, because I was learning how to bowl again, I went from probably averaging somewhere around 160, 170 bowling just straight, probably about the best, highest I could do 180. I told you the highest game was 198. So scores dropped drastically. So only about after 3 months of bowling with this bowling ball, trying to do the best I could to bowl one-handed, I decided to do what a lot of the younger bowlers are doing now. They're coming up starting bowling two-handed. I'll make maybe a longer video or a whole separate video about my transition. You go check out my channel. You'll see that I have some videos out there, some shorts of me going one-handed to two-handed. We'll talk about that longer journey a little later. So when you see the next ball, you'll see that there's going to be something else that changes. We'll talk about that in the next ball. But for now, first ball, asymmetrical core, solid reacted cover stock, fingertip, give it the hook, hammer. Love their line of bowling balls. Envy Tour, pretty solid. Came out in 2022. So there you go. That's the first ball out of the bag. All right, guys. Here we are with ball number 3. Now remember, this is the third ball you're seeing, but remember the first ball that you saw, the old red pearled ebonite, it was my spare ball. So when it was in my arsenal, I would combine the second ball you saw, the MB Tour, with the red ball. So there was I only had 2 balls at the time that I was learning with the MB Tour. So I would use the MB Tour to be my main bowling ball to try to strike with. And if I missed my strikes, or if it was single pin spare conversion, then I would bring out the ebonite and shoot at my spares with a straight plastic ball, giving me much more control. All right, so we're talking about arsenals today. So this would be my second ball out of the bag. So when the lanes start to break down, I can't get the solid reactive cover of the MB Tour to hook up, or it just not giving me the lane reading that I need. I'm going to switch into this ball. And in my notes, guys, so this is a Hysteria. This is a Roto grip Hysteria. Comes from the Storm line of products. The hammer is under the Brunswick brand of manufacturers. But as you can see, I told you there would be a change. One, right off the bat, if you didn't notice, this ball is much shinier, so it has a It's not a pearl, but it has a shiny cover finish to it. So once again, this is the Roto Grip Hysteria. This is a older ball, so I bought it used. I'll tell you about why you know it's used in just a second. But let's talk about the specs of it real quick. So it has a polished finish. That's the reason why it's shining. Once again, a medium to heavy. So once the heaviness of the oil has gone off the lanes, this is going to give me a whole lot more control. So be able to read the lanes better. And it has, and so the biggest difference between the first ball and this ball is that this now has a symmetrical core. Not getting into asymmetrical versus symmetrical, that's not what this video is about. But what this allows me to do is bring out what they call a benchmark bowling ball. Allows me to read different oil patterns. The lanes might be transitioning or breaking down. This is the next ball out of my bag to see if I can to really get it to hook up and keep striking. Roto Grip Hysteria. Now, this is an old ball, guys. I bought this used. It's a great way for you to not spend a huge amount of money to build your arsenal if you're not like touring all the time, if you're not trying to be a pro, but you want to try to get you some multiple bowling balls. Great way, guys. Go to your local shop. See your shop attendant. A lot of times the league bowlers will sell their equipment in the shop, or they'll just have a ball on clearance. Biggest thing that if you haven't noticed yet, is that this ball has no thumb hole drilled in it. So I have officially 100% switched from a single-handed bowler to now a two-handed bowler. I don't use my thumb anymore, so my thumb does not go in the bowling ball. So as you can see, still the fingertip drill still goes in the fingertips, but as you can see, I use two hands to palm or cup the ball, so there's no need for me to drill a thumb hole anymore. As you can see, why I say real quickly how you can see that a ball is used. This ball has been pre-drilled by somebody else. As you can see, they close them. There's two holes right there for the fingertips, and somebody did have a thumb hole in it, and it's right there. Well, it used to be right there. So they covered it in for me. The ball is just as good as it would have been with the cover stock. So no issues there. Don't worry about the drills being finished. That happens all the time. Won't get into the details, but these pins mean something. This dot right here means something. So I had this ball drilled differently too. My first ball was a pin up bowling ball, not getting how it was drilled. Once again, not going to get into details between pin up and pin down, but I wanted this ball to have a little bit less hook for a little more control. So I had the pin drilled down, which meaning the pin is underneath the fingers. So pin up would be here above my fingers, and as you can see, the pin is below my fingers of where I grip. That's a good way to see of how you're holding the ball, whether you have a pin up or pin down bowling ball drilled, if it was pre-drilled already. Once again, second ball out of the bag, Roto Grip Hysteria, manufactured in 2015. So yes, this is a very older ball as well, but still does really solid for my game. All right, guys. So here's the last ball for this video of my current arsenal. I do have a few other balls I'm not going to talk about right now. They're a little bit newer. This one is a brand new, just bought it, just got it like a few months ago. This is the Ebonite's replacement. So this is a Brunswick Tzone called the NightSky, and as you can see, I don't know if you can see it from the glare, but it's sparkling like a galaxy or like a night sky full of stars. A clear night, has a lot of glitter and glare in it, so I really like the finish. I'm really favored to darker colors on my bowling balls, but So this is a brand new spare ball from our arsenal. So I wanted to, the Ebonite still did well, but as you can see, it wasn't drilled for the way I need it to be now. Remember, I'm a two-handed bowler. And then also for certain leagues, you have to have, you can't have your thumb hole not drilled. So for instance, the second ball you saw, the MV Tour, I showed you how it still had the thumb hole in it. So if I was to be bowled in a sanctioned tournament or a league, certain leagues, I would have to get that thumb hole drilled, or excuse me, filled, before I was able to use that ball. So I practiced with it. I do plan on getting it because I want to keep it in my arsenal. I do plan on getting the thumb hole covered in that ball. So Tzone, Brunswick Tzone NightSky. Had to, I had this one drilled to fit for my two fingers for the two-handed style that I'm throwing with. So this one fits a whole lot better, gives me a whole lot more control to shoot at my single pin conversions, like your 7 and your 10, your corner pins, 6-10 covers as well. So really good for single pin straight shots. So definitely going to be pulling out this. Go to the notes real quick. Not much, because once again, I told you it is just a spare bowling ball, but find the balls that work for you guys. If you can shoot, if you have to shoot with plastic for your spares, a ball like this, every manufacturer has some kind of form of spare ball. So this is just the one I chose to stay with the Brunswick line and give me the color that I wanted as well for the performance I'm looking at. So cover stock plastic, like I said, it's gonna no hook. This thing is gonna slide like glass down the lane. As long as you keep it online, you can bet that it'll stay where you're shooting it at. It's a Crown factory polished finish. That's why it's shiny. Once again, polished. Reaction straight, guys. There's no core reaction on this. It has a bullet core, which is a very small little core in the bowling ball. Very, very low hook potential, so you're just not going to hook for this ball much at all. And what is it recommended for? Any lane condition, and it's actually advertised as a spare bowling ball. What I like about shooting plastics, a lot of bowlers that have especially if you have a high speed and rev rate, they probably like to use like urethane bowling balls for their spares, because you can have a spare and double as a strike ball in your bag, and you don't have to carry an extra ball for a spare. I don't have the speed to throw with urethane for my spares. So what this allows me to do to not change my style, I can literally throw this ball the same way as I would throw any of the other balls that you just saw, and it's going to stay on line, and I don't have to change my approach or swing too much to throw this bowling ball. So this is going to be one that's going to stay in my bag as my spares. Wanted to get one drilled to fit for proper throwing and a much newer ball for my spare. So this is the predecessor and the one that now will always be in my bag for my spares. Thanks for watching the video. Once again, if you like my content on my channel, I told you this was a one-stop shop for a whole lot. So you're going to see other content coming. It's like my adventures, my vlogs. I do a lot of things other than just game. So you're going to see down my bowling series. You're going to see I got some other series that I'm working on that I'm going to be bringing out to you. So yeah, stay tuned. Roto 300 episode 1. If you like the content I'm dropping, man, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, help me grow this channel. But this series, the Roto 300, is going to be all about documenting my practices, my league matches, and my pursuit of still throwing a perfect game.